Practices like Sati and lifelong austerity for widows were common in India. In December 1829, the Governor General of British India, Lord William Bentinck, passed Regulation 17, which declared sati illegal. This was a major social reform strongly supported by Indian reformer like Raja Ram Mohan Rai, who argued that sati was a social evil with no basis in true Hindu teachings. It opened the door for later reforms, including widow remarriage laws like the Hindu Widows Remarriage Act of 1856. After independence, India continued reforming women's rights. The Hindu Women's Rights to Property Act 1937 expanded property rights for widows but still had limitations. So, the Hindu Succession Act, formulated in 1956, that granted women and widows absolute property rights. This act corrected earlier discriminatory laws against widows. The Widows Remarriage Act 1983 formally repealed the 1856 Act because widows' remarriage had already become legally accepted and integrated into modern Indian law. So far as America's stand is concerned, widows' remarriage was never legally prohibited in mainstream American law. Marriage laws in the US were governed by state civil codes, not the federal constitutions. Therefore, no amendment was required to permit widows to remarry. Christian history presents a more mixed picture. While the New Testament does not forbid widows' remarriage, and in some passages, widows' remarriage was encouraged. But later Christian traditions often idealize lifelong widowhood as a sign of piety and devotion. In medieval Europe, widows were frequently pressured to remain unmarried, especially within noble families where property and inheritance were at stake. Against this backdrop, Islam's clear, consistent, and rights based permission for widows to remarry stand out as a distinctive and progressive feature of its social teaching. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. Islam stands as a powerful advocate for safeguarding the rights and dignity of widows, including their full and unquestioned right to remarry. Far from restricting them, Islamic teachings affirm that widowhood should never become a barrier to rebuilding one's life or emotional well-being or social stability. The Quran explicitly recognizes a widow's autonomy, granting her the freedom to choose whether, when, and whom to remarry after waiting period concludes. This principle was reinforced through the life example of the Prophet Muhammad, who honored and married widows himself, demonstrating that marriage is not only permissible, remarriage is not only permissible, but also a dignified and respectful path. Upholding these values, Islam positions itself as a champion of widows' rights, ensuring that they are protected, supported, and empowered to move forward with hope and security. Thanks for watching.